want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. Is there a connection to Jesus comparing himself to the ancestors' manna, leaven or lack of leavened bread in John chapter 6, the Passover matzah, unleavened in Matthew 26? I believe these are two separate incidences with two separate meanings. In John 6, Jesus does not refer at all to the Passover, leavened, bread of life, whereas unleavened, the bread of affliction. All right, great. So in John chapter 6 and other places, Jesus refers himself to items that are tangible, things that we've experienced. Obviously, he calls himself the, quote, bread of life. Well, there in John chapter 6, he's referring to being substantive, that which gives us energy, strength, etc. It is, quote, good for us. When you get to the other passage, what we know as the Passover meal, obviously it was unleavened, representative of without sin. So yes, Jesus was using objects that were readily available to his audience and to us to point us to who he was and who he desires to be. One of the things that I want to caution all of us, though, is not to overly read into these things. For example, in John 6, the bread would have had leaven. Let's not read into it that Jesus was saying that he had sin in his life. Of course not, because the context was not Passover. In the Passover, per Exodus chapter 12, there would be no leaven in the bread. So again, he is the light of the world. He talks about being living water. He even talks about in John chapter 10 being a gate or a doorway. And all these illustrations are to prove a point that he is the means by which sinful humanity, the only means by which sinful humanity can be saved. In John 6, he's building a case. If we desire the substance of life that is eternal, we have to have him. In the other passage about unleavened bread in Matthew 26, saying that his qualification, unlike anybody else, is that he is without sin, and he was the one and is the one that was prophesied from time beginning. Great question. If you have one, send it to AskJeff.net. Maybe one day your question will be tomorrow's, or another day, someday. Submit your question and we'll answer it eventually. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.